Hello everyone, I have another interesting video for you guys. So let's get this show started. Now I want to start off by saying this entire video is based on facts. I will not provide you with anything but the facts. Now this is the GPS information from the Discovery. And at the top you can see that Chris started his truck at 5:18 in the morning. He backs it into his driveway. Takes 30 seconds to do that from starting the truck into the driveway into the garage partially. Now it's showing that he had his truck there and on for 27 minutes. Because then it shows that he left his house at 5:46 in the morning. So it took him 27 minutes to load his dead family's body into his truck. Drove off and then arrived at Survey 319 at 6:53 in the morning. And he was there for 2 hours and 36 minutes, as you can see here. Now you need to keep these timestamps in your memory. So now at this point, we know we started his truck at 5:18 in the morning. And what I'm going to show you now is the security footage from Officer Coonrod's body cam during the viewing of Nate, the neighbor's security camera.
But this is at 148, and then the next one I have is 105, whatever. So nothing. But this is at 148, and then the next one I have is 105, whatever. So nothing. But this is at 148, and then the next one I have is 105, whatever. So nothing. But this is at 148, and then the next one I have is 105, whatever. So nothing. 105, whatever. 105, whatever. 105, whatever. 105, whatever.
So now we know Nate's security camera started to turn on and started to record at 5:11 in the morning. Now I'm going to show you the clip from the body cam footage from the next day after the murders on Chris's other neighbor, Betty.
Yeah, I leave 5:15 every morning.
And that's kind of odd for him.
Well, not often do I see the lights that early.
Anything different over the last, 2 days, 3 days? Odd vehicles, odd noises, odd lights?
There was a truck out here yesterday. In fact, that's why I thought you were here yesterday. Maybe someone complained about that I hadn't seen before.
What type of truck?
It was kind of almost a steel gray.
Okay.
Don't ask me, Nate.
Okay.
Year. But that was late afternoon. The dad has a great big truck, and it's gray. But this one was smaller.
Okay.
This one was smaller.
Then,
But I hadn't seen it before, so
any markings or stickers or anything that would be weird? You wouldn't by a chance remember if the plate was green or red or...
No, I kind of just I don't
glanced
pay
at
any
it.
attention because I believe he owns his own business or something because he always has a truck parked there, so kind of...
I gotcha.
I just kind of noticed it wasn't the normal truck.
Was it dirty by any means?
No, it wasn't. And it couldn't have been that old.
Okay. How long was the truck sitting there?
I saw it yesterday morning around 5:15 a.m. because I go to the gym then.
Okay.
It was still there when I got back at 6:45, and then it was there around, I think, noontime.
Okay.
And the reason I mention it is it was gone by the time you guys left yesterday.
Okay.
Now I saw his truck leave yesterday. Maybe it was this morning. I was leaving for the gym. His truck had the lights on, which is unusual for that morning. 5:15 in the morning. Only fools like me are up.
So you don't usually see him leave at that time of day? Oh, was that the gray truck, or what truck was that?
That was his regular truck. It's a pretty big truck. Maybe, what could I compare it to? An F-250, 350,
That'll
to be
work.
honest.
And so, was it yesterday morning, Monday morning that you went to the gym?
I go every day.
Okay, so then, if you can remember yesterday morning, pulling out. Was there...
That's when I noticed the little truck.
Okay, and where was it? Was it in the driveway or on the street?
No, it was on the street. It was between the two houses, right about in front of my tree, you know.
He said it's a little truck or the
It's a smaller truck than what's normally there.
Okay, it's like that size or smaller?
No, maybe that size.
Maybe that size. Okay.
No camper.
And that was the gray one?
Yeah.
And you think his normal truck's like the 2500
Yeah,
or
it's a
3500?
bigger truck.
But both gray?
Yeah, but different shades of gray.
Okay. The other littler one, was it darker or lighter?
I believe it was lighter.
Okay.
It's more like a steel gray, right?
Yeah. And the other one's darker. Maybe a hint of green in the gray.
Okay.
Yeah. But I haven't, except for this morning, come to think of it, I haven't seen a lot of the big trucks. Is that what you're finding? You haven't seen, I mean, not that I want to wake at 5 in the morning, but, you know, you're making me think that I did see the truck, I believe it was this morning, because the lights were turned on. And I was pulling, you have to be careful coming out of here, because it's kind of a three-way mess if you're all going the same place. But I noticed that the back lights were on. But,
That was around 5:15 this morning?
yeah, I leave 5:15 every morning.
Okay.
And that's kind of odd for him.
Well, I don't, not often do I see the lights that early.
Okay.
But then he could leave at 5:20 and I would not know it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You see him leave sometimes in the morning to go to work? You ever...
Not often. No. I kind of keep, yeah, I leave 5:15 every morning.
And that's kind of odd for him.
Well, I don't, not often do I see the lights that early.
And now we know Miss Betty leaves at 5:15 every morning. And with a premeditated murder, Chris would know this weeks, months prior to the murders. If he's staying at Nikki's house every night while Shanann and her children are off in North Carolina for 5 weeks, he's sleeping at Nikki's house every night that Shanann's gone practically. And then he said he went into his house every morning to get ready for work. And he had the perfect timing to be able to see when Betty or any possible witnesses to this crime. So now we know that Nate's security camera went off at 5:11. For his security camera to even start recording, something has to trigger it. Something has to move to alert the camera, wake up, and record me, basically. So if a certain someone walked out of the house right at 5:11, boom, starts recording. So something came out of that house at 5:11 to trigger it. And then Betty says 5:15 in the morning every day. And then she's seen Chris's lights on his truck. Just because some lights were on doesn't mean a vehicle was on then yet either. Just like when you lock and unlock the door and then your lights flicker, that kind of light, I'm assuming, because his truck did not start until 5:18. And now we can see what Chris has told authorities. He packed up his lunch, filled his water jug, and at 5:15 went outside to back my truck up that I had loaded with my book bag, my lunchbox, computer, water jug, blah, blah, blah. Him knowing what time his neighbor Betty leaves at 5:15 in the morning. So Chris walked out of his house, possibly through the front door at 5:11. Boom. Camera is on. It's triggered. That's what made Nate's camera to start recording. Chris already walked by the gap between the garage and the tree before Nate's camera actually started recording, which is why it never captured Chris walking by. So now Chris is sitting in his truck on the street by 5:12, and Chris is waiting for Betty to leave. Now, being Betty normally leaves at 5:15 in the morning, but she ended up leaving at 5:18 in the morning because that was about the same exact time that Chris started his truck at 5:18 and pretty much pulls forward the same time that Betty is leaving her driveway. So right before he started his truck at 5:18, another person walks out of the garage at around 5:17. So Chris went to his truck at 5:11. The camera starts recording. He's sitting in his truck. Someone else comes out of the garage at 5:17 and gets into the truck. Betty leaves. Chris starts his truck and backs it into the driveway. Now, nothing stopped Chris from starting the truck and backing it into the driveway as soon as he got into the truck at around 5:12. If Chris did not want to be seen by Betty, nothing stopped Chris from waiting until Betty drove up Steeple Rock Drive and was completely out of sight before Chris starts his truck, turns on the headlights, and pulls the truck forward to back into the driveway. Chris deliberately sat in his truck and waited for Betty to leave because Chris wants to be seen by Betty, because Chris was going to use Betty as his timeline alibi. Also, he left his truck running for 27 minutes. Why would he leave his truck running for 27 minutes when there was supposedly no one else in there and he was putting in the dead bodies of his family? Perhaps he left the truck running because there was another person in the vehicle and they wanted to have some air conditioning while they were waiting for him to pull off this horrific crime.
5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded up. Had my book bag, my lunchbox, computer, water jug. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded up. Had my book bag, my lunchbox, computer, water jug. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded.
I guess just call me back when you have a chance. Bye. Hi. It's me. I miss your face. I was just calling to say hi. Call me back. Bye.
Now here is the surveillance video footage from the neighbor's house capturing Watts start the vehicle, Betty leaving, someone walking out of the garage, him backing the truck into the garage.
5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded up. Had my book bag, my lunchbox, computer, water jug. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded up. Had my book bag, my lunchbox, computer, water jug. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded. 5:15, I went outside, backed my truck up and loaded.
I guess just call me back when you have a chance. Bye. Hi. It's me. I miss your face. I was just calling to say hi. Call me back. Bye.
Now here is the surveillance video footage from the neighbor's house capturing Watts start the vehicle, Betty leaving, someone walking out of the garage, him backing the truck into the garage. Now I'm showing you the surveillance pieces that came directly from Weld County, and I'm showing you exact moments through the whole surveillance of all movements, just in case you missed any little piece of detailed information. So beginning with number 1, Chris triggers the camera to turn on. Number 2, truck unlocks or the door opens, making the headlights turn on. Number 3, other person walks out of the garage to get in the truck with clothing that matches Chris. Number 4, he starts the truck. Number 5, Betty's car leaves. Number 6, Chris drives forward. Number 7, backs up into the garage. Number 8, he gets out of the truck. Number 9, the door lights magically turn on by themselves. Number 10, Chris walks back to the truck. Number 11, Chris goes back into the garage. Number 12, he must have closed the door since the lights went back off and the headlights flashed in the street. Number 13, Chris walks back to the truck. Number 14, 10 seconds later, the truck lights come back on. Number 15, Chris goes back into the garage. Number 16, Chris is dragging Shanann's body backwards. Number 17, Chris goes back into the garage. Number 18, truck lights turn off. Number 19, Chris walks back to the truck. Number 20, 12 seconds later, the truck lights turn on. 21, Chris walks around the front of the truck. Number 22, passenger door closes. You can see the light move from right to left. Number 23, Chris walks to the garage. Number 24, places gas can into the right side of the truck bed. Number 25, truck lights turn off. Number 26, he takes it back to the front of the truck and into the left side of the truck bed. Number 27, Chris walks back into the garage. Number 28, Chris walks to the truck, but then goes back into the garage. Number 29, Chris rushes to the truck. Number 30, 10 seconds until the truck lights turn on. Number 31, Chris walks around the front of the truck. 32, passenger door closes. 33, Chris walks into the garage. Number 34, the truck lights turn off. Number 35, Chris rushes to the truck again. 36, 11 seconds until the truck lights turn on as he opens the passenger door, then closes the passenger door. Number 37, Chris walks into the garage. Number 38, truck lights turn off. Number 39, Chris walks back to the truck. Number 40, 2 seconds, the truck lights turn on. 41, a shadow walks to Chris as Chris bends over to pick her up to put her in the truck. Number 42, Chris walks back into the garage. Number 43, Chris walks back to the truck, lights still on because he left the door open. Number 44, closes the door, lights turn off, headlights turn on. Number 45, Chris drives forward. Number 46, Chris walks into the garage. Number 47, Chris walks back to the truck. Number 48, Chris drives away to dispose of his family. Now back to the clip where there's only one shadow that Chris picks up. Does this mean only one child was alive? Was it Bella or was it Celeste? If only one child was left alive before leaving the house, how did that child leave the house? Was it in one of those garbage bags? And it had to be during one of those times he made a few trips to the truck. And also where he went to the truck and it took at least 10 seconds or more until the door opened and the lights turned on. So he must have had something in his hands, like a body in a bag, and set it to the side and then opened the car door. Also regarding the garbage bags, he left the entire roll of garbage bags on the passenger floorboard of the truck in the front. So that just makes me ponder, why would he put it on the front? Why wouldn't he just put it on the passenger seat, the passenger side seat instead of the floor? Was there someone sitting in the passenger seat, the hole right up there? Is that why they were on the floor? Why was there a green lighter found in the side door of the passenger side? Chris didn't smoke cigarettes. Maybe being that Nichol Kessinger had called a rehab facility during that phone activity video I did, maybe there were some sort of drugs involved. Maybe they smoked meth, smoked crack. I don't know. I don't know where the cigarette lighter comes into play, but it definitely couldn't have been Chris's, especially if it was on the front passenger side door panel. It's just very suspicious. Now, I know a lot of people don't think that he had dragged Shanann's body, but there was evidence in the discovery that she was dragged in the sheet that he took off the bed and wrapped her in. Here in this paragraph from the discovery, towards the end, it says there were dirt stains on the sheet, including a large area of dirt stain with patterns that appear to be the form of the sheet being dragged along the ground. Now, this is the sheet that they're talking about with the drag marks on it. Those little risen specks are like being drug on concrete. If a piece of fabric drags on concrete, it's going to snag. It's going to snag, it's going to snap. And then on top of that, he also drug her in the grass in the field before he buried her. You see here in the middle, long drag marks. And then at the top there, possibly where her head was, there was also drag marks. Also, I want you guys to be aware of the stories, the lies, and the imagination that Chris has, and how he kind of just goes with the flow when he hears a new story brought up and then continues on with this fake imagination.
I've always had a really crazy imagination. So when I was a kid, I even convinced my teacher I went to Japan over the summer, or to China or something. But she said, you should just write down, your story, how you cope with this.
Why did you convince your teacher you had gone to another country?
It was just what you did over the summer, and I was like, oh, it's China. I just started writing. And she actually believed it. I was really convincing. So you're a smart dude. Yeah. It was, and they parent teacher conference said, so how was China? Nope.
So do you think any amount of us asking you things different ways would have helped, or do you think anything would have helped?
I think if maybe you didn't ask about if Shanann hurt the kids, you would ask the other if something in that, a different order of question, maybe it would have came out a different way. Because that's the only reason I remember that story, is because that was...
Well, you weren't giving us anything
I know.
That was the problem. So if you think if we would have said, what do you think?
You would have said, I think you'd have probably had if the video didn't show them in the truck, you probably had to have lied, but just we saw the kids in the truck. I mean, I hate to say you would have to lie to get me to say what you wanted me to say, but it might have been that.
That we saw the kids in the truck.
It just felt like somebody was behind me, just I just couldn't let go. I was, just nervous. I knew I had done something wrong, and I knew you probably already knew or were going to find out. It's just like, you know, I've watched enough, you know, like TV shows to kind of see like, okay, what's going to happen next type thing. I never knew if that's right, but I think it's just the horror of like knowing what you did and trying to tell somebody else what you did. That's what kept me from doing it, because I didn't even want to admit to myself that I had done anything. So I knew what I had done. I knew how bad and horrific it was. I knew how bad I was going to hurt other people. I just couldn't even admit to myself that I had done it. So I couldn't even tell my attorneys I did it until like 2 weeks later.
So were you trying to save us from the horror?
No, it was just a matter of I couldn't admit to myself, and how could I admit it to you?
There are quite a few people who would tell us, and who do tell us, you need to look into Nikki more, Nikki Kessinger. All the way from the extreme end of things being, Nikki's the one who ordered the hit.
She was there. I'm in the basement.
She was there. You know, so the extreme is, she's the one who told Chris to do it. She's the real problem. All the way, that's the extreme side, and then all the way to, well, there were these texts where she was infatuated, she was in love, she was saying how good Chris was in the sack, and maybe we should look at her more. You know, what would you say to those people?
Like, you know, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never do that. But there.
And so, are those people absolutely wrong about Nikki? She wasn't asking you to get rid of your family?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And no part of any of this was because she put it in your head or asked you to, or?
She never, I mean, this whole relationship contributed to it.
Sure.
But she didn't want me to do it. Like some of the conversation, like on the 14th, got a little weird. I think that's when she met with CBI or something, or FBI. I'm not sure who she met with first.
So she talked to you after she met with?
No.
Oh,
that was like she had told me like, this is the last time you'll probably hear from me. I'm going to stay at my friend Jim's place while this is all going on. She said not to contact her until this is done. Thinking maybe it's like, maybe like if her hand was not her head was like twisting back and forth, could that have done that?
Yeah.
I had a blanket open. I don't know. Like, it was, I don't even want to say it felt like I had to. It just felt like there was already something in my mind that I was planning that I was going to do it, and I woke up that morning and it was going to happen, and I had no control of it. Plus I used a different card, like a blue card. Maybe she thought, you know, like I felt comfortable enough just using a normal bank account or something, but you know, I told her I was going to Rocky, I told you I was going to Rocky.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know, it felt like, you know, like looking back at everything, like just like reading the scripture more and more now, I can see like, you know, God gave me opportunities to get at it. Like even my friend Jeremy Lindstrom, he even invited me to, because like it was his daughter that came and watched the kids on that Saturday night. And he was like, hey, you said we're going to a Rocky game, you want to go to me with the Bronco game and watch the Arizona Cardinals? Like, in my mind it was like, you know, go. Just say, hey, I can't find a babysitter. Bye.
To Nikki?
Yeah. And maybe that would have been like, you know, like a light switch in my head goes off, light switch in her head goes off, maybe it just like goes different directions. That was kind of like my last like opportunity to kind of get out, it seems like, because I wish I would have said, yeah, let's go. Yeah. And I think that would have just put me on a different trajectory. Like, you know, she had her moments where I had to talk her like off a ledge kind of deal.
What does that mean?
It's like, I guess after the fact, there was like videos of her that she was like recording herself because she was like bipolar or something. I never do that. But there, it's like, and she would get worked up about nothing.
Did you and Nikki ever fight?
We never fought, but like I said, I had to like calm her down a bunch of times.
Yeah, you started to mention that when we were talking to you before about her getting upset about some video or something about being bipolar, or what are you talking about?
I think either my dad told me about that or John Walsh told me about, like she made a couple videos like when she was just like, you know, talking to herself
saying that she was bipolar or something like that. But a lot of things was like, when she realized that, okay, like she's the other person in the relationship, that, you know, I'd always put my wife first over her, and that's what kind of made her take a step back a few times, and then like I had to kind of like calm her down.
Tell me about those times. What'd that look like?
So the first one was probably around July 4th when I had to leave her house, because she wanted to kind of spend most of the day together before she went to like a baseball game or something. And like when I had to leave, it kind of just made her like kind of take a step back and wonder what she was doing. And I just, you know, told her like, hey, you know, just because of what's going, like just because I had to leave doesn't mean like, you know, you have to just take a step. I was like comforting her at some point. I don't even know why I was doing it. Maybe I knew I was too far gone at that point, but it was.
Because so Shannon's pissed. She's called you 10 times. You were sleeping. You had your day off, and then you go outside to talk to her on the phone, and then tell Nikki that you need to go home just in case she calls back and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So what did she say to you, Nikki?
She was in the shower. She said, "Okay," and then that's like when I talked about I calm her down. He's on the phone. So.
And was she like, we're breaking up, like we're not gonna like
No, she said like she didn't want to, like she didn't think it was safe or it was good for us to see each other anymore that day, like the rest of that day, just because of all that. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And she asked me to come over like later on after she got back from her baseball game.
And so you did that? Mm-hmm. So what was the second one like?
It was basically about the same thing. She was, you know, I didn't really know it at one point, but I guess she had set up a couple dates with like some eHarmony app or something, and they never showed up. And she'd already made plans with me, and you know.
Wait, what do you mean? She set up dates when she had plans with you?
Yeah.
Why would she do that?
I guess she kind of figured out they weren't going to show up. She went, I guess when she went to the baseball game, they never showed up, and there was another one, and never showed up either.
So she's actively dating other people?
I didn't know it until like a couple weeks later.
And how'd you find out?
She told me.
What'd she say?
She it was one conversation where I actually kind of fell asleep on the couch, and then like she had told me like I'm not sure why she even told me about it, but it was very random, and she could tell that it kind of like took me back a little bit because I figured she would have told me that if she was actively still like looking around. I mean, she didn't have to tell me, but I figured she would.
Do you think she told you though so that it would hurry you up and
make a decision?
You're making a decision?
It might have been, but you know, she never had anybody that actually tried to like fix things as far as like, you know, hey, like I like where we're at as far as like the relationship goes, and actually like I did stuff for her around the house, around her little apartment, and like nobody's ever done that. And she thought I was different. It's just like, if I never met Nikki, would I ever have, you know, thought our relationship was bad? Probably not.
Interesting.
That's one thing I always thought about. Like, even Nikki asked me, like, if, you know, she said, I don't want you to leave your wife just because of me. I'm just like, what do you mean? She said, well, just, if you met me, like, would you have known? I'm like, oh. So I never thought I would have strayed away from her at all. Like, I've never tried to follow anybody, you know? She said she would go on, like, websites and look at, like, will a relationship work with somebody, like, will a mistress work? Will a mistress turn into a relationship?
That's what Nikki was looking at?
Yeah.
She would tell you that, or you heard
told
that?
me that.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that she would go on websites and look at stuff like that. I was like, why do you even look at stuff like that? She's like, I just want to see what other people have experienced.
But like, so that confuses me though, because I thought earlier you were saying she thought you were heading toward a divorce. So why was she looking at herself as a mistress?
This was later on.
Oh.
Like, you know, in August, like first week of August, when I told her, like, you know, I had that talk with her about separation. That's when, like, she would start looking at, like, apartments and stuff. But, like, during our July relationship type thing there.
Oh, I see.
That's when she was looking up, like, you know, will it actually work?
Okay.
She told her friend Brittany about it, I guess, and Brittany told her not to do it, but she said she'd already made her decision.
Okay. What did she know about you? Did she know you were married at first?
She did, once I showed her the pictures on my phone. Yeah, like, you know, the home screen picture. So.
Was your wife in that picture, or was it just your girls?
It was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh.
So she knew I was married with my kids.
Okay.
Are you aware that she said she didn't know you were married? What did you think about that?
I figured it was like, just trying to save face, trying to, just trying to, something my sister said, it was like, just trying to keep things together.
Yeah.
Just trying to, she phrased it a different way, but just kind of like, it's like ground control, was trying to control everything that's going on around her, because I'm sure she got bombarded by all kinds of different sides from the media and everything, so. And
Did you talk to her at all? No.
I'm hoping she hasn't, written me in a different alias or something. I'm not talking to her that way.
Oh. And are you not allowed to talk to her? Okay.
Was it ever like, I wish you didn't have kids, I want to have, kids of my own with you, like?
She never knew if she wanted to have kids, but she said that, at one point she said, I'd like to give you a son.
Do you remember having any thoughts or thinking about why not just putting them all together with Chanel?
Honestly, it was happening so fast, I had no time to really have a thought that was my own. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I had done. I still wasn't in that right state of mind. I don't think like I was in control of what I could think or what I could do at that point in time.
Could she grab your arms, or were her arms pinned down? Or?
Not that I remember. I don't think so. I mean, I don't think I moved to where my knees were around her arms or anything. But what I was doing.
Yeah. You were just in automatic mode, or it seemed like. So did you drive straight out there? So what were you thinking on the way out there?
I was kind of like what I'm doing right now. I'm just nervous, shaking, not knowing what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I know my life is completely changed. I don't know what's happening. Honestly, I try to picture that whole ride. It's 45 minutes to an hour ride out there, and it's just couldn't I have saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do that? I don't know. This is my flesh and blood. This is what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, and just to have kids, and they love me, all that, and it just nothing made sense. The oil tank, nothing made sense. I'm just what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. So what happened when?
It kind of pissed Nikki off too that I left, but I think that's when I called Nikki later, and she was she kind of realized that, she'd always be the second, she's second fiddle.
Did she accuse you of cheating at that point?
Mm-hmm.
So what'd she say?
I knew there was somebody else. I didn't come out to say, that there is somebody else, but she obviously already knew.
No, your response to that was what? Did you say no, there's not? Deny it?
I just denied it, but at that point, but she knew, and that's mainly the reason why I talked to her, because I knew, after that night, it was just it felt I just felt guilty, more guilty than ever before.
Yeah. And then the fact that she didn't scratch at you or anything, is that just because it was so powerful?
I don't think it, it didn't feel like, I've never done that before, put my hands around anybody before. Trying to, because she kept, I didn't want to, when I was putting this one coherent, thing I had, I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann. Trying to, because she kept, I didn't want to, when I was putting this one coherent, thing I had, I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann. Trying to, because she kept, I didn't want to, when I was putting this one coherent, thing I had, I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann. Still made to delete everything. I didn't delete everything. I just okay. I'm not sure why I didn't delete everything, but probably helped you guys out a little bit. But
She told you to delete everything?
delete all conversations.
Did she tell you why?
She just said delete it. Which I don't think you can ever delete a text message.
We're pretty good at getting deleted text messages.
Yeah.
What was the reason?
I can't even tell you. It was like I said, like something else was in control of what I was doing, and it was like I was doing something I never thought I would ever do in my life. I just like I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting go.
And so there were so many things that happened, weren't there? There just were little tiny ingredients to this recipe.
Yeah, nothing like
it's nuts, Chris. I mean, it's just so many things just didn't go your way.
everything was like somebody was stirring a pot, and it was just
That's exactly what it was like. How did you get on top of her? How did that happen?
It's like when I got into bed, I just heard because she was laying. When she was sleeping, she was laying like face down, which she really never does.
Okay.
And I just got into bed and I kind of nudged her, and then she like kind of rolled over, and then I was just like right there on top of her.
Okay. And so that was after you'd gotten ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go down, you make your food.
Oh yeah, I got like cottage cheese and another couple things I was making food that day.
Okay. And then, so this is, we talked a little bit earlier today about, there was all of these things playing in your mind where you just didn't even want to go another second without having this conversation or without some sort of completion, right? And then so you come back, she's asleep, and then you just kind of nudge her?
Yeah, I just kind of like, okay, look up for a second.
And was there a nudge talk for 20 minutes, or was it just nudge and then all of a sudden you're on top of her?
No, it's pretty much on top.
Okay, so that happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, that's how we kind of pretty much talked.
Okay.
I was just right there.
And was there talking?
Yes.
Okay, and so a nudge, a talk, she's laying down and you're standing up?
I crawled back, I got on my side of the bed, and I just like nudged her like that.
Oh, okay. And then you're talking while you're on top of her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That seems confusing to me. Is that actually what happened? Okay. And so, is she
was fine, like just laying there, like you're trying to talk to her while you're
So
on
I think
top of her?
I thought we were going to have sex again or something.
Oh, okay. Okay. And how long did you talk?
Like about 15, 20 minutes.
Really? In that position? Okay. And was there any sex?
No.
Okay.
Maybe I'm basically from the position that we're in. She maybe thought maybe I'd try to go again. I don't know.
Okay. And I don't want to harp on it too much, but I'm just trying to think, if my wife's 4 months pregnant and it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I want to talk and I want to get on top of her, that's just not going to fly. So that's why I'm confused. So, is that really what happened? Okay. And then talk for about 15 minutes and then it's heated and then your hands are on her neck. Okay. All right.
What did the talk consist of?
Basically, just about how at first it was more of like the selling the house type of thing, or not going to Aspen, or trying to maybe go in at a different time, and then it just switched all to the I don't feel like I'm in love with you anymore, not compatible. After that, and that's when I got to the heated part of it.
Okay.
Did she ever say at some point, get off of me or anything like that?
At the end,
Yeah.
that's what she said. I don't want you to feel like because where I was, it's kind of like she didn't want me like to sit down or like hurt the baby or anything like that. It was just like,
Did she accuse you of cheating at that point?
mm-hmm.
So what'd she say?
Like I knew there was somebody else. I knew there was somebody else. I didn't come out to say, that there is somebody else, but she obviously already knew.
No, your response to that was what? Did she say no, there's not? Did you deny it?
I just denied it, but at that point.
Well thought out.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing like that.
You're just minute by minute at that point.
I had no idea what was going to happen.
So once the girls were gone, was it also just a minute by minute thing as far as the oil tanks?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I mean, just thinking about an oil tank just makes me want to throw up.
And was that just because it was in front of you and there it was and just presented itself? It wasn't a plan beforehand? Okay. Was there any reason why just separate ones?
No, it's like you said, it was like going up the stairs, and it just didn't. No, what Frank said is like I was trying to separate everybody. That's not.
No.
No, I didn't want to separate anybody.
What was the reason?
I can't even tell you. It was like I said, like something else was in control of what I was doing, and it was like I was doing something I never thought I would ever do in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think there would be less chance of someone finding them if they were in separate tanks, or?
Sounds like it's over there. Whatever my reasoning was in my head that day, it wasn't sound. Nothing was right.
And you don't even remember thinking about it?
No, it was just like a reaction of something that I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the trash bags? Do you remember that? There were two.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to, because like the street kept, I didn't want to, like when I was putting this one coherent, I guess, thing I had, like I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann while they were in the back seat.
So what'd you do?
I put a trash bag on one end and on her feet and on her head, so they didn't have to see.
And they were just too little to kind of figure out, right?
Yeah, they didn't know.
Okay. That's good.
I just know, like, when I was driving up there, I mean, they were just, sitting there just, kind of asleep or kind of just, like, holding on to each other, laying in each other's laps. I didn't,
Do you remember having any thoughts or thinking about why not just putting them all together with Shanann?
Honestly, it was just happening so fast. I had no time to really have a thought. That was my own. I just, when we got on the bed, that's just where I got on. When we got on the bed, that's just where I got on.
Did you have a shovel?
Yeah, we had a shovel, a rake, and a...
Did you have a shovel?
Yeah, we had a shovel, a rake, and a... But we were saying what she was saying, it was just... But we were saying what she was saying, it was just... But we were saying what she was saying, it was just... But we were saying what she was saying, it was just...
So then on that night, was it just a new type of fight?
It was
never had, or what happened?
Yeah, it was a totally different type of fight. It was like, it was... Just felt like... I don't know, it was more anger than anything else. Like, there was emotion to it at first, and then it just felt like it was just anger. It was just like, like there was no love there. It was kind of like... But we were saying what she was saying, it was just like... It's almost like we knew, like, something was combating at each other. And we didn't know, like, it wasn't ourselves.
Really? Anger from you or anger from her?
I think it was more anger from me and more like desperation from her because she wanted to fix it. Yeah. She knew if something wasn't right, like...
Hi. It's me. I guess just call me back when you have a chance. Bye. Hi. It's me. I miss your face. I was just calling to say hi. Call me back. Bye.
What the hell? Did you guys hear how many times he slipped up? And it almost seems like he didn't even feel bad about it. So that about wraps up this video. Let me know what you guys think below. Do you think those slip-ups were mistakes? So I hope you guys enjoyed, and thank you for watching.